What's good, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video. Now I'll be reacting to 23 minutes of The Last of Us Part 2 gameplay trailer, full presentation. So I had to close my window because the last video I just edited that I reacted to, I think it was Lucifer, it might have been Harley Quinn. The sound of my fan, I could kind of hear it. I turned the sound down in the background, so it was faint, but you could kind of hear like almost like a electronic interference, and it bugged me. And so I closed my window, called my fan, got that on, and it's still high. It's not as high as it was earlier, but so. This is like 24 minutes, 23 minutes, something like that now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it because I decided to drink too. So yeah, and I'm tired. I've been up almost 24 hours now. So I had a hard time sleeping on the night. So let's just get to it because y'all don't hear me talk. Anyway, let's get into this. All right, here we go. I don't know what's up with this bar. I guess it's supposed to be like a PlayStation. I probably, because I never really pay attention to my PlayStation when I turn it on. I hear the sound, and the sound is what, if I don't hear the sound, like once I didn't hear the sound, why my thing come on? And it was some issue. It went off.
I know you wish they
wrong or something. She wished things were different.
I wish things were different.
She wished that the apocalypse didn't happen.
Ellie! But they ain't.
If anything, he should have more to worry about because she is immune. He jumped in there. It's always the humans that are just fucked up.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
To do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
How'd you find us?
Those noises.
You can't stop this.
Cutting people's throats and shit.
I want what you want. But not at any cost.
She's basically, I was gonna say John Wick, but more like Man on Fire. No revenge ploy.
I have to finish it.
This is the same thing I was saying.
There's a cost.
We could have killed you.
You should have.
Maybe you should have.
You should have had her come like over the top.
I'm Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and the Director of The Last of Us Part 2. We're just a few weeks away from launch on June 19th, when the game will finally be in your hands. The wait has been long, and we're extremely grateful for your patience, especially now in the midst of these unprecedented and challenging times.
Just upload me.
We hope you're all taking care of yourselves, and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing well.
I want to do it for this game.
Because of these extraordinary circumstances, we can't be together in this final stretch and share the experience like we usually would. So today we're trying something different. Something we've never done before.
Where's this dude from? I don't know. He has a X.
Over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to give you an in-depth look into what awaits you in The Last of Us Part 2, including new details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence. You'll definitely want to stick around for that.
That's why I'm here.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her to the Fireflies.
You know
and
what
walk
happened,
away.
Joe. You know what happened.
They were actually going to make a cure.
Oh, they were going to try to make a cure.
It would kill her.
The Last of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game.
She knew he was lying.
Ellie and Joel have settled in Jackson, Wyoming, amongst a thriving community of survivors. With the threats of the world kept outside the town's walls, Jackson has been able to find relative peace and even stability. Ellie is now 19, lives on her own, and has been able to forge lasting relationships within the community.
Scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate our kiss from last night?
However, this peace is short-lived. Jackson and Ellie suffer a violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice. Her journey will take her to new parts of the country previously unexplored in The Last of Us. The story spans multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. Each introduces a wide range of exterior and interior environments for you to navigate and explore, rendered in meticulous detail and unprecedented scale with the latest iteration of the Naughty Dog engine. Our goal was to make these environments not only beautiful, but feel as grounded and authentic to the cities they're based on as possible. Much of the story unfolds in what remains of Seattle, a massive former quarantine zone. Its locales are incredibly diverse, spanning a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts that surround it. The city exhibits drastic shifts in architecture, elevation, and weather. And with Part 2, we've introduced new traversal mechanics that afford greater exploration and ways to navigate threats. Ellie is not only able to climb and jump over gaps, but she can use ropes to scale vertical terrain or swing over obstacles, allowing you to discover new areas, resources, and side narratives.
Interesting.
These more open environments also create new strategic
Well,
considerations.
he's all
in
made by
combat,
Naughty Dog, I mean.
whether it's to get the jump on
They had to
enemies
swing
or
it down
bypass
in,
them entirely.
Uncharted 4.
The Last of Us Part 2 features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains. Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate them. However, the world of The Last of Us is as lush and inviting as it is deadly.
You don't have a hoodie in this world, you
As
are
Ellie
not
uncovers the path to
prepared.
finding those who have wronged her, she must face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone, where two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources. One of these groups is the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as the WLF. The WLF are a militia group that began as resistance to the military occupation of Seattle, and eventually wrestled control of the city from them. They are highly trained, organized, and well-equipped with weapons they stole from the army. They occupy much of the city,
So they're a
imprisoning
bunch
or
of
killing
a-holes.
trespassers on sight.
Hey, we got another trespasser. A girl. Did you see her?
On the other side of this bloody conflict is a group of religious zealots called the Seraphites, or Scars, defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces. Like the WLF, they're deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being stealthy, using overgrowth as cover, and they use more silent weapons like bows and arrows.
Clip her wings.
Oh yeah, I remember this. It was like a year ago or something. They hammered her arms with a hammer.
But beyond this conflict among
That was
survivors,
rough.
the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every human is in danger of falling victim to the infected. They are the recently infected runners who are more numerous and aggressive in this game. The blind but extremely deadly clickers, and the stalkers, who sneak and hide until they're ready to attack, surprising their victims with extreme agility and brutal violence. The Last of Us Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. Large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustules. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have to wait until you play the game for yourselves.
Smart. I'm not showing everything.
Overcoming these threats will require careful consideration of how you approach every combat encounter and how you leverage Ellie's unique skills, equipment, and the environment to your advantage. The WLF patrol the streets of Seattle with guard dogs, which are capable of detecting and following you, even while in cover. They can pick up your scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your
this
scent
game
trail,
is going to be
so keep
very
moving
challenging.
and cause distractions to avoid detection. 25 years after the pandemic began, the world is completely overgrown. Use tall grass to hide from enemies and go prone to stay out of sight. However, this form of analog stealth means you're never fully hidden. If enemies get close enough, they can discover you, even in grass. When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option. You can also break glass or crawl through tight spaces to find new paths or areas to evade or take on your enemies. In any given combat situation, you can flee an encounter and re-establish stealth to regain the advantage.
Listen, I just want to
If you
stab
absolutely
everybody.
have to fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from taking damage and create opportunities to counterattack. You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing a killing blow.
Oh, I thought she stabbed in the ear.
Or using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move. Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters.
Who was that? Oh, it was this guy. He's gonna die. Violently. Sheesh. I'm worried. I'm thinking they're gonna
Between the
have,
human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present, creating new strategic considerations and opportunities. You can choose whether to attack these opponents separately and directly,
does Ellie have a mask on?
or find ways to pit them against each other.
So maybe it's for that burning thing or the...
Flee as they fight, or wait until their numbers have thinned out and engage with whomever's left.
Unless she's doing that, because she don't want to tell people that she don't want people to know that she's leaving. I would hate that. I was immune to something, but then I gotta pretend that I'm not.
Our goal is to create unparalleled attention, coupled with deep systems that give you greater control and influence over your journey.
Inconvenience myself when I get anyone who's been in the military.
As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad collection of crafting items, weapon, and player upgrades through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients.
Especially when you...
These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will create your own distinct experience.
Just sitting there.
We also wanted to extend that agency and personalization to your weapons through our new workbench system. Scavenge for parts to modify and improve your weapon's performance and attributes, all of which are visualized and become part of your character. Survival will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items,
Hit the
like
dog.
proximity mines, explosive arrows, pistol suppressors, and more.
Oh yeah, get the one behind. Ooh, okay, well I guess
All of
that
these
wasn't
gameplay
stealth.
systems are meant to immerse you in
That
the
was
world and
damn
make you
Rambo
feel in
arrow.
lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey. As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most
I
ambitious
wonder if
game.
they're gonna bring the
It may seem like
Fireflies
we covered a
back.
lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2. We can't wait for you to
Like
experience
they're
it all
gonna
for
be like
yourself
pissed
on
what
June
Joel
19th.
did.
Until then, here's an extended sequence of never-before-seen gameplay. Enjoy.
Oh man, I think I didn't see this, but I think I saw a thumbnail of this. But it said 8 minutes on. How much time is it? So about like 8 minutes. So, yeah, this must have just been this part. Cause I could have just watched it. Had this video had been over already.
Did you find her yet?
Escape while no one was looking. We're searching the area, just in case she's still around.
Isaac's not happy about it.
No shit.
Escape. What the fuck are they talking about?
How does she see under that? Excuse me. At least she learned how to swim. I was like, especially in a world like this, you would think she was 14 in that game. Like, you would think it'd be mandatory. But no, it's. And wasn't she basically like in ROTC kind of? It's a good thing these people can't hear someone treading water. Oh, she got. I thought I heard music.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up. You know
Is
what,
that a
Nora?
PSP? What is that?
Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
She about to kill her.
Stop.
Damn, I feel sorry for her. Maybe she was listening to music. She got stabbed in the throat. I feel sorry for her. But she did just try to stab you, so. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Code's away. Word is we're almost wrapped up.
Good. I got my girl waiting for him for Bob.
You kidding
She
me?
kind of sound like
They playing
Tess.
with you again?
Upstairs.
Hey, we get the job done.
I bet you do.
That one does the same voice actress.
I'm telling you, man.
No,
Beta
that's
soldier.
not her.
It makes these shifts so much easier.
She don't sound like her.
I'll keep that in mind.
Fuck. Sounds like scars are getting closer.
That's our guys executing those freaks.
Hey,
I wish they had a Nathan Drake skin.
I heard that Isaac wants us to retake all of downtown.
It is, yeah, that'd be so funny to me. Like, you could put,
No,
not her, but
not
like
after what went down last time.
Joel or something.
Isaac isn't
It's
that
Nathan
crazy.
Drake. Or if her, well, they can't do it 'cause they don't own it, but like Laura Croft skin.
All right, calm down.
Calm down, don't put a book. And why is this making me feel? Is it because I'm tired? Like this is rough. go time. She gets on tape like tape scissors to it, and it looked like that's what she did.
Someone's out there.
Or was she making a mouse? It looked like, is there scissors on that thing? Yep, it is. Burn the damn dog. Ooh. Oh, that dog yelped. Oh, that was that. Man, why am I feeling this way? Like, these people are pyramid pieces of shit. I mean, maybe because I don't know the story. Well, I haven't played the story, so you probably see it. You go, oh, I don't feel sorry for these people. I'm glad they did. But it just seems so rough. The woman with earphones, I'll still be kind of like, man. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But
Just like that.
she was just sitting on her earphones. You come up, ask her, like, hey, tell me what this person is. All right. And then she tried to stab you. That was me. I'd have been like, I ain't saying nothing. How about you can go? I was like, I won't. And I wouldn't say a motherfucking thing. If anything, I'd lead her to, like, hey, guys, put this hoodie on, I'll walk you over there.
Saw movement.
I'll go check it out.
I said, as soon as if we get caught, I'm gonna tell you, you had me at gunpoint.
Shit! Look out! Move! Over here! Drop her now! Crook! Asshole!
I was thinking, why don't you just shoot her? But I guess you don't want to shoot somebody's face like right in your face. That'd be stupid. Just you like kick him down and point the gun down. Oh, take a bullet like a champ. Good thing she has a healing factor. She doesn't. Gotta move before they start shooting through the door. She wearing Chucks? Kind of like Chucks when she was running up the stairs. It's almost.
That you, Nora?
Wait, like, yeah, today was a good day. This music should be safe. No static from you cowards.
Here.
I'm not stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
I definitely will be listening to that
I'm getting tired
in
of this.
Apocalypse.
Nora. Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
They don't hear that? She's like, I'm Batman. Well, it'd be scary if somebody snatched her ass from her. Wait, oh, maybe that was in a different room. That's why I couldn't hear it. She crawled from the vent, but it crossed into another room. Somebody just go, ah!
Don't scream. Put that shit down. You remember me?
You
Remember me?
She's like, oh yeah, you remember me, motherfucker. You need to drop more F-bombs in this. More mothers and more fuckers. got a little perted in it. That looked good. That damn those kills for some reason, like they were just really bugging me. Like I felt so bad for those people. Even though, like I said, I know it's a revenge story, so most likely you just assume everyone's an asshole. You know, it's like any revenge story. You say, oh, okay, if it's like an army of people, you say, okay, well, the leader is the one that usually make it personal, so that the leader did something to this person. Well, now they want to get revenge, but they got to go through and kill all these other people. You know, it's not like, well, they kind of even did that in The Crow, because I was thinking about The Crow, where he was targeting like specific people. But then I remember that scene where Brandon Lee got shot up. What was that guy? He was the leader of that gang who sent them to evict him and his wife, will basically killed him. And then people started shooting at him, and he killed everybody, but they were all criminals. Plus, they shot him. So I mean, he was like, "Yeah, you can kill them. They're fine." So I guess even in that situation, it's pretty much the same way. But it's just, I feel sorry for some people, because some of they didn't have anything directly involved in what happened to her, I'm sure. But they can like stab in the throat. That's why if it was me, and I was in this world, I'd be like, hey, look, you can go on and just go on about your business. I ain't gonna say nothing. She probably like, well, I gotta knock you out or something. Like, look, this is the apocalypse. 25 years after this shit started. I can't deal with a head injury, because you might hit me too hard, and I have bleeding on the brain, and I'm good as dead in this world. So I was like, look, we can throw down right now, or you can just trust me and just go, because like I don't even want to deal with it. Like, I just want to live as old as I can get and not have to worry about being shot or stabbed by humans, or robbed and killed by humans, or ripped to pieces by these damn well, I'm forgetting what they call them in the game. Well, somebody don't say night creatures, but I know that's not what they call them. Thinking about Castlevania. I know the bloaters, but I'm talking about the zombie things, basically. I think they got different names for each one of them. It's not like, the Walking Dead, they call them walkers, or whatever. Or just the zombie fuckers. But the game looks great. So the graphics look good. The mechanics look really good. I'm really interested in that. I'm interested in the exploration. So I like how they included, almost implemented, but included like the rope. You can go vertically, you go jump different wherever. I wonder how, what they showed was okay, but I wonder to what extent. Like, does it really feel like? Because that's the thing, any game needs. You need to feel like you're making a big decision, or feel like you're doing something like worthwhile. Like in Grand Theft Auto, even though it kind of bugs me in games like that, but when you're driving from like downtown Los Santos to, what was that desert that Trevor was in? I can't remember, but like out there, it felt like a long time, And then when I don't know why I'm driving, I said it's not really that long when you just drive straight through stuff. When you're in the city, you can't really. You have to use the streets. But when you get outside the city, you can just go up mountains, or go over hills and stuff like that. So it cuts it down drastically. But even if you're on the road, I mean, you can. Of course, you're going faster than everybody else, so you ain't worried about cops pulling you over. But what if they introduced that in the next game, where if you broke the speed limit, cops pull you over, you ran lights. Every time you do that, cops will pull you over. I think that would get annoying. I think people will find that very annoying. But like that game, like I said, it feels like, you know, you're going a long distance without, you know, actually really going a long distance. But that's it. So you need to. I wonder if it's gonna feel that way. Like, it looks pretty in this presentation, but I'm curious if I'll feel like the exploration is real. But they do it in like the Tomb Raider games, but I don't really get. I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling like, oh yeah, this feels like exploration, but other times I don't. Like when you get those hidden tombs and like the Tomb Raider games, the most recent ones. You don't. It doesn't feel like, it doesn't really feel like you're exploring like a tomb per se. It feels like you're exploring just I guess a room. Like it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't feel like you're traveling down like in a tunnel or a cave. It'd be like if you go. It feels like more like you going into the entrance of a cave. Everything is right there at the entrance. Like you don't go any more than like maybe 20 or 30 feet into the actual cave before you find what you're looking for. You know, it's not. It doesn't feel like you're going deep into something or coming out the other side. That'd be more interesting. So I think that'd be better. Like if you go, even if it feels like, even if the thing is like right there at the entrance, if you go into it, you explore it, and then you have to go out on the other side. It almost like tricks the mind into thinking that you've gone further than you actually have, because you didn't go back the way you came. You know what I'm saying? But in that game, you always go back the way you can. You come in, well, like I just said, I'm just playing the same way, just playing the same thing in a different way. But anyway, this looks good. I'm curious if they're gonna have any like co-op, since you can have someone with you, but I'm not sure. I was reading some things they were talking about co-op. People like, oh my god, they're ruining everything with the co-op. I think people are probably thinking about, not specifically, but this is what I thought about. What's the name again? For some reason I want to say Lost Planet, that's not it. Dead Space, I think it's what it's called. Where the third one, where it was co-op. But the thing about that, it was co-op, but it was very much like action oriented. So it took a lot of the horror aspect out of it. So it was just weird when they did that. Kind of fun game in co-op. I mean, it was fun. I played it, but it just, of course, it just wasn't Dead Space. But I mean, it was fun. It was fun for what it was, but it wasn't Dead Space. So I'm not surprised it didn't do well. But I'm just curious if that be a factor in this. If it would have done co-op, that'll be interesting. And still doing what you're doing, like sneaking and doing the mission the same way, and just going to a cutscene, but you're one person, and you're another person. You're Ellie. But I want to play with Joel. I want to do killing that old school kill. See, Joel kill people old school way, punch people in the throat and shit. That's how you do it. That's how we do it old school. So we did it back in the '90s. Punch people in the throat. See, Ellie, she one of them Generation Xers. They slash people's throats and shit. That's what she do. Stab them in the kidney. Joe would punch them in the throat, or we shove their throat on like a piece of glass that we ran their head through, and now it's jagging. Just slam their throat on that. But I was trying not to laugh. Maybe I was a little tired, but anyway, hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. And when you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below, share this video. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.